Good morning, my dear friends. It's Gord, your hurting hippie, and yeah, we're having a hippie walk today. And I think I'm going to be calling it walking off the woefulness. Woeful. I'm going to find something with W's to talk about depression. I woke up today. I've been fighting it. That's why I had a couple of videos on depression this week. I have a whole bunch of triggers out there that can quite easily throw me back into a low depressive cycle. And I said I was lucky that I'm on the high end of my bio chart, or whatever you want to call it. I believe in that we go up and down as fibro does. It's cyclical. And that we will experience times of greater ease into depression or out of it. And I was am thankful that I'm strong enough right now that depression isn't overtaking me. However, that said, it doesn't take much to get triggered into a bout of sadness that can manifest itself into a much longer dealing with depression, a much longer time. I don't want that. So I had a rough morning. I had exactly that, a couple of things that triggered my sadness and made me want to go back into those pits. I'll explain it in just a minute, because people are coming, and this is going to be a few segments. So I'll explain what happened, and then I'll explain what I'm doing to try and solve it. Be right back, folks. Peace. Cheers. Love and harmony. So you ask what triggered me. And you know what? That's kind of you to ask. What triggered me this morning was I woke up from a fair sleep, one of my better ones. I haven't been sleeping well the last few days, and last night was okay. It wasn't great, it wasn't bad, so I woke up okay. And I woke up a little later than usual, like 7:05. It was kind of nice. But I went and did my oil pulling to help gain some health in my teeth. And then, 15 minutes later, let that out and brushed my teeth and noticed this is the side that should be hurting, but this side hurt like hell as soon as I started brushing it. And I remembered last night I had a steak dinner. It was pretty tender, but I did go a little overboard because, man, it was yummy. And I took too big of mouthfuls and wasn't chewing as carefully as I could. Got the old floss out and started working a few teeth back here, and realized I had a fair amount of food in there overnight. And pulling it out, getting it out with I'm sorry for the graphicness of this, pulling it out made my mouth bleed, and it was bleeding pretty good. And that just set me off. It really set me off. I immediately went to tears. And that's how a panic attack happens. It can take such a little thing like that, but in my mind it was huge. It was huge, because what happens if I go to the dentist now and they say I gotta start removing them from here? I'm gonna have nowhere to chew, and I can't afford the ultimate, what they say I have to do. I just can't afford that. I know I can't do it this year at all, and it may be a couple of years before I can afford it. I need to be able to get by. That's why I hope the oil pulling helps. So that really got to me. I let it get to me, and it really got to me. Then I had a really good talk with my son, but right immediately while I'm kind of in a miniature panic attack, to talk to my boy whom I miss incredibly. He's having a blast. He's having a really good day. Just reminded me, oh geez, not only am I sad, but I miss him. So what did I do to fix it? People here, I'm going to a new spot, and we'll talk about that segment in a minute. Peace and cheers. And now part 3. What did I do to try to solve my depressive ways this morning, my woeful ways? Well, first of all, I realized I hadn't taken my CBD in the morning. I usually take that right after the oil pulling, but because of the tooth problem that came up, I forgot. And I'm just sitting there in my woeful ways, and I had a face full of tears. So I right away took a dab of CBD rich blessing and added a bunch of CBD isolate to it. So it was heavy in CBD, tiny bit of THC. It gave me a calmness that I could start getting some focus on my head and stop looking at the negative. That's one of the really wonderful benefits of CBD. The rest I did, though, was all natural. I went and I break some peppercorns, pink peppercorns, and smell them. The caryophyllene from it, I think it's called that, beta caryophyllene or something like that. It's a terpene that's also present in some cannabis, but it's a terpene, and it can really, really help also gain focus. But I also sat there and looked at the pictures from yesterday and the little movie I put out about my trip to the Saskatoon farm with my older son. And I looked at the pictures that I've been sent of my younger son and the wonderful education he's getting traveling through Europe. So I started to look at that and see it as, wow, there's some nice stuff going on. And then I started to think about, well, what's going on today? What have I got going on today? And I kind of went up and down there because re-looking at the day, I had nothing in front of me and nothing planned anyway that was going to give me any kind of satisfaction. I felt kind of lost. So I started falling back down again. But now I'm doing this, and I'm halfway through the walk. I've paused twice. I've spent a lot of time inside my head to try and feel better, and already this walk is helping me absolutely amazingly to get by and to enjoy this beautiful day. It's a windy, not warm day, and maybe I'll take y'all to the mountains after I do my news. But until then, I think I can get by. I need to focus on the positive and where I feel good and why I feel good and where I feel bad and why. And just look at reality. And reality is never, never as bad as our brains make us think it is. So reality, fresh air, walks, peppers, a little bit of CBD, a little bit of THC, and a whole lot of counting my blessings. That's one thing my mom always reminded me of, and it just came into my head right now, is count your blessings. When you feel sad, when you feel hurt, when you feel like somebody has done you wrong or you've done yourself wrong, count your blessings. You have a lot of them, and sometimes you forget what they are and how varied and wondrous they are. Look at this beautiful life I have, this wonderful place I live in, really close to downtown. Could go down there and do whatever I want to do down there. I'm really close to, although you can't see them from here, the Rocky Mountains. 45-minute drive and I'm right in them. An hour drive and I'm up the mountain. Beautiful lakes and everything. Meanwhile, I have family, beautiful, wonderful family. I have the luck of having my older son still living with me, or back to living with me. So count your blessings. Look at them and ignore the negatives. When you're depressed, it's not a time to think about the negatives. Wait until your mood has improved. Then look at the negatives and give it some honest thought. And you're going to find they're not as negative, and there are plans you can make to make them less negative and to find the positive in it. One thing that was taught to me, it doesn't matter if it's a mistake or a tragic event or some kind of trauma. No matter what happens in your life, it is meant to be a positive. You just simply haven't found the positive that's related to that event yet. Everything leads to a positive, even if the only positivity from that event is a lesson learned to make sure it doesn't happen again. That's a positive. So let's keep aimed at the positives. I'm going to slowly walk my way back to home and do the news, my Hippie News Network. I've got a good one today, and we'll get this to you and that to you, and maybe I'll have more to do, and maybe I won't. It shouldn't matter. Peace and cheers, friends. Love and harmony.